Today, I'm joined by Prajakta Apte. Not only is she a registered dietitian and yoga teacher, but also a trained and but also okay, I'm going to start over. Today, I am joined by Prajakta Apte. Not only is she a registered dietitian and yoga teacher, but also trained and certified in Ayurveda. And this is why I invited her on the show today so we can learn more about Ayurveda and how we can apply its principles to our eudaemonia. Prajakta works closely with people struggling with digestive issues and strongly believes in treating the root causes to her clients' problems rather than applying band-aids to the symptoms. Like me, Prajakta is a firm believer that good health starts in your gut, and a balanced diet and healthy lifestyle can help a person connect their mind and body and provide vibrant energy. Welcome, Prajakta. I'm looking forward to hearing more.
Thank you so much, Emily, and it's so nice to come and talk to you here. Thank you for this great opportunity.
Oh, of course. So, can we start just by telling us kind of the briefest description of what Ayurveda is?
Absolutely. So, Ayurveda, and I think some people have heard about it these days. This is becoming, people are becoming more and more aware of this science, of this medicine. But this is for people who have not heard this word or who don't know what Ayurveda is. Ayurveda is one of the world's oldest medical systems, and this was originated back in India about 5,000 years back. And this system completely relies on the natural and the holistic approach to physical, mental, and emotional health. Now, the word Ayurveda is derived from the Sanskrit words. This is, again, Sanskrit is one of the oldest languages that was spoken in India. And the word Ayurveda derived from two Sanskrit words. Ayur means life and Veda means knowledge. So Ayurveda can be thought of as the knowledge of life. Now, the aims and the objectives of this medical science are to maintain the health of a healthy person and heal the disease of person who is ill or who is unhealthy. Now, both the prevention and healing, they are carried out entirely by natural means in Ayurveda. So at its core, Ayurveda is based on the belief that the mind, our body, and spirit, they are interconnected. And in order to achieve optimal health, we need to balance all three.
Amazing. Okay, you're going to give us a little bit more texture into how to do this, but I love that something that I was drawn to when I first learned about Ayurveda is how holistic it truly is, right?
Yes,
In the
yes.
mind, the body, and the spirit. And that we're not just treating symptoms, but really getting to the root cause.
Absolutely, because Ayurveda believes that anything physically that we are not feeling well about or anything happening to our physical body will have an impact on our mental health, and vice versa. So if we are depressed or we are anxious, that's indirectly going to have an impact on our physical health as well. And that's why we really need to treat that individual as a whole person. And as you said, not just treat the symptoms, because putting bandages on the symptoms, we know that that doesn't work. That doesn't work long term.
Exactly. And what I find, I'm working with women on hormones right now, and they're maybe treating like 5 or 6 different things separately. But if you really look at where it's coming from, you could be treating the one root cause
Absolutely.
as a whole system.
Absolutely. Right, right. Yep, definitely. Now, another thing I want to talk about Ayurveda, and this is like a foundation or a very basic when it comes to this science. Ayurveda believes that every individual is born with a unique balance of three energies. And And in Ayurvedic term, it is called dosha, or you can call it as body constitution. And there are three main doshas that have been identified, and they are called as vata, pitta, and kapha. Now, these doshas are believed to control our physical, our mental, and our emotional characteristics. So every individual, as I said, is born with the unique dosha, and generally there are two doshas in every individual, and out of two, one is predominant. So person could have a dosha type of vata and kapha, and in that case, vata is always going to be predominant and kapha is kind of a secondary. And when these doshas are in balance, then we experience good health physically, mentally, and emotionally. And any kind of imbalance that occurs in these doshas, that can lead to illnesses or some health issues or some symptoms. So to give you some example, if person has a pitta body constitution or a pitta dosha, imbalance in pitta dosha can result in acid reflux, or person may experience heartburn or indigestion, or it can result in loose bowels or diarrhea. Or if someone has a vata body constitution or a dosha, imbalances in vata may manifest as constipation or bloating, abdominal distension. Person may experience arthritis or even deal with insomnia. And similarly, to give you an example, kapha predominant individual, when there is a balance, that individual may experience cold or congestion or sneezing or some allergic manifestations. So this is very, very important to know, because the whole science is based on your body types or your body constitutions or doshas.
I mean, it's so brilliant. It just makes so much sense. I know you're going to tell us more about things that, you said that, Ayurveda treats everything naturally. So I think we'll get into some of those like common natural treatments. But I'm curious about being raised in an Ayurvedic household when you probably have people of different doshas who who really thrive on different sorts of foods and stuff. What does this look like in real life?
So first of all, it has to be when you are getting a treatment under Ayurvedic science or under this medical system, it is a very, very individualized approach. There's definitely not a cookie cutter approach. The Ayurvedic practitioner will examine you, will find out your doshas, and there are different ways you can do that. There are some forms, or there's more like a questionnaire you need to complete at the Ayurvedic practitioner's office, and that kind of gives an idea for a practitioner that what body constitution you have. The other factor is the physical exam, looking at you. So to give you an example, generally vata individuals or people who have a vata as a predominant dosha or a body constitution, those people generally are thinner, they are light in weight. Weight gain is not a problem for them. They are very active, agile. So those are some of the characteristics. Versus kapha individuals, they are slow, they usually are overweight, they have a very heavy bone structure, and weight is always a challenge. So if anything goes wrong, the first impact it's going to have will be on their weight. So that's those people are also, and this is just a generalized thing I'm talking about, but kapha individuals, they are generally lazy, they are slow in their actions, or they prefer to sleep for a long time, for long hours. As far as the pitta constitution goes, those people, they are medium built, they are right, as far as the weight goes, they are right at their weight as compared to their height. So that's not a problem. They generally have a lustrous skin, so their skin health is usually good. But those people get angry too fast. They get frustrated too fast. Those people are generally the leaders, so they like to lead the group rather than be a follower. So absolutely, I mean, this is a very individualized approach, and the practitioner will first find out what dosha type you have, and based on your dosha, of course, the treatment plan is kind of designed for you. And the Ayurvedic treatments include diet and nutrition, of course, lifestyle modifications, regular physical activity, rest and relaxation, which many times in today's modern world we forget, because we are on the go all the time and just want to get our to-do list done, right? The other treatment plan that includes in Ayurvedic treatments is meditation, and it is kind of recommended to do it on a regular basis, on a daily basis, just as a part of your daily routine. Massages are also another type of treatment that is included in Ayurvedic treatment plans, breathing exercises, and of course the use of various kinds of medicinal herbs. Now that also depends on what type of dosha you have, because not all herbs are going to work for you, and you need to really work with only those medicinal herbs that actually will be helpful to keep your doshas in balance.
Love it. So you spoke a little bit about the individualization of this. I think that's key, is that it's not a cookie cutter, one size fits all approach to wellness.
Definitely not. Yep.
So can you say more about food and nutrition and the role that that has within Ayurveda?
Absolutely. So definitely food and nutrition play a big role in here. And I mean, if I have to compare this with the today's modern world's eating habits, obviously they will not be considered right as a part of the food and nutrition protocol for Ayurvedic treatments. Now, Ayurveda believes in having a very balanced diet, which has all food groups included on the plate. Ayurveda also encourages eating food in its most natural form, which is definitely staying away from processed foods and foods with added colors and flavorings and all those stuff that has become a part of our today's world these days. Ayurveda believes in eating the fruits and vegetables, again, in its natural form, and not in the form of applesauce or kale chips and all those things. So everything natural, because that's what your body recognizes as a food, and that's how Ayurveda believes that the food gets digested very well in your body and the absorption of nutrients happen correctly. Now, Ayurveda also believes that digestion, optimal digestion, is the key for having a balance of your dosha. So keeping your digestive fire up and running, which is basically stomach acids, is what we call it as. And if you have a optimal secretion of stomach acid or gastric juices, that will help you with the optimal digestion and absorption of nutrients. So Ayurveda strongly believes in kind of keeping your digestive secretions optimal. And in Ayurvedic terminology, it is called as Agni. Agni is fire, and digestive juices are referred to as the Agni, which is the fire of the entire digestion process. But going back to food and nutrition again, a well-balanced diet, eating foods in its most natural form, encouraging to eat fruits and vegetables, pure ghee. is considered as it's a very pure form, which is supposedly considered to kind of help with the nutrient absorption. So lot of herbs and spices, they are sauteed in ghee before you eat them, because they basically release their aromas and their medicinal properties when they are sauteed in warm ghee. And then that ghee actually helps as a lubrication. It helps to carry those medicinal properties to various parts of our tissues and cells. And that's why Ayurveda definitely encourages to have at least one meal where you are sauteing the different kinds of herbs and spices in warm ghee.
I'm so glad you mentioned ghee. For those of you who are listening who are not aware of what this is, it's spelled Ghee. And I'm going to let Prajakta explain exactly what ghee is, and then maybe its nutritional benefits and why we should be having that once a day with herbs and spices.
Okay, so as Emily said, ghee is spelled as Ghee. This is a product that is made from cow's milk, and Ayurveda also believes that milk is also a really good food that has lot of benefits. But we need to understand that back this system was originated 5,000 years back, and that time the quality of the cow's milk was much better as compared to the milk that we get today. The cows back then were treated nicely, they were given a lot of good food, so the quality of that milk was definitely better. And that's why the ghee that is made from this milk is a good quality. So I'm not going to get into too detail of the process of making ghee, but basically you make butter out of cow's milk, and then that butter is heated on a very slow flame for a long period of time. And of course, the moisture, the excess water, everything gets evaporated. And what is left at the end is called ghee. And you can just consider that as a type of butter. And lot of health stores these days, they have pure ghee, and it has a beneficial effect. Of course, it's a fat after all, so you need to have it in moderation, and that's why Ayurveda encourages to have just a teaspoon of ghee every single day. Lot of Ayurvedic herbs are mixed in ghee because, as I said, they release their aroma very well, and ghee acts as a lubrication for our joints. So definitely, if you have any joint pain or stiffness, taking regular ghee will help you with your joint achiness or joint stiffness. It acts as a lubrication when someone is dealing with constipation, and Ayurveda encourages person who is dealing with constipation is to take a teaspoon of warm ghee mixed in milk, and take it a night before, which helps with the easy bowel movement. Every thing that is recommended in Ayurveda, of course, need to be done consistently, and you can expect results just by trying it for 2-3 days and expecting the results right away. For everything, I think the consistency and compliance to that new change that you are making is absolutely necessary.
That's so important. I'm glad you mentioned it. It's not like you can do it once and expect to see resolution of your problem, right?
No, absolutely not. Yep.
I first learned about all the benefits of spices from learning about Ayurveda,
Okay.
the healing benefit in herbs and spices. And I'm curious if there is an herb or spice that you take every day just because you found it to be so helpful for you.
Well, I grew up in India, of course, so I still have my roots back in India, even if I am in this country for over 20 years now. And definitely my diet is mainly the Indian food. Um, and at least throughout the weekdays, I try to eat all the Indian food as kind of going to the basic as we can. And Indian food heavily rely on turmeric, and we use turmeric in our cooking pretty much every day. Every dish that we make, the savory dish, I would say, not a sweet or a dessert, but every savory dish has turmeric in it. And turmeric, as probably I don't have to speak a lot about turmeric, because uh, uh, turmeric has gotten a lot of popularity these days, and everyone knows what turmeric is. It's a root, and it has a great medicinal value. It is actually called in Ayurveda a golden herb, and it is a highly antioxidant. It is anti-inflammatory. So taking a pinch of turmeric every day is what I would encourage people. You can take that with warm milk. You can take it in warm water. You can even mix it in warm ghee and take it. Another important thing that many people are not aware, that turmeric has an active ingredient called curcumin. And curcumin works well in your body as giving you anti-inflammatory benefits only if it is combined with black pepper. So make sure that when you take turmeric, you are adding crushed black pepper in it.
Thank you. Awesome. Great. So what are some common problems that you have found Ayurveda to be particularly helpful with treating, or what do you find that you're treating the most using Ayurvedic principles?
Sure. So again, I mean, as I said, it's a very individualized approach, but there are definitely few things that I regularly practice in my private practice. And indigestion is very commonly seen in people who come to me, and majority of my clients are struggling with digestive issues, because that's what I work with. That's my niche. So people are dealing with digestive problems, and indigestion is a common complaint that I see. And for that, ginger is really, really a great herb that has proven to help with the optimal digestion. So with ginger remedy, a simple thing that you can even try to do, and of course, I mean, all these remedies, I call it as home remedies or secrets, they don't have side effects. So you can certainly try for a few days before you start seeing benefits. So with indigestion, or to help with the optimal digestion, the way how ginger works is you take half a teaspoon of grated ginger, and to that you add few drops of lemon or lime juice and a tiny pinch of salt, and then mix that mixture really well and chew it. Don't gulp it down. This is very important, that you need to chew that mixture and then maybe drink a glass of water after that. And you need to practice this 5 minutes before you start eating your meal. And this ginger will actually help stimulate more production of digestive juices, which I was talking about earlier, referred as Agni, and it helps with optimal digestion.
Amazing. Okay, so you chew that and then you eventually swallow it, but you spend a long time kind of masticating it in your mouth,
Correct.
right?
Exactly, exactly. So you chew that first. And I know just gulping it down with some water is not going to be effective. Also, you want to make sure, I'm insisting again, just 5 minutes before your meal, because if your meal gets delayed, then your stomach will start its work. It will produce the gastric juices, but there won't be any food for those gastric juices to work on, and you may actually experience heartburn. So definitely try to start eating your food within 5 minutes. That's a key.
And that is great for people who experience bloat. I hear a lot about bloat
Exactly.
Great.
Bloating. And why people experience bloating? Because they do have a problem with digestion. Their body is probably not digesting food well, and that's why they experience bloating.
All right. What other home remedy do you have for us?
Sure. So gas is another common complaint that I hear with my clients. And for that, I recommend lemon juice. And what you need to do is you take a teaspoon of lemon juice, and to that you add half a teaspoon of baking soda and mix that into 1 cup of cool water. So I would say cool means right in the refrigerator or even at room temperature will be fine. So to 1 cup of water, you add a teaspoon of lemon juice and half a teaspoon of baking soda, mix it really well, and drink it quickly right after your food. Okay. And that will actually really help you with, feeling gassy, or that flatulence is what we call it as. So this thing need to be done after meal, unlikely what we discussed about ginger earlier.
Really interesting. I haven't heard that before, but happy to know about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. The another thing, what I would recommend here is the common complaint that we all have is cold. We have pretty much cold can happen, any time of the year. It is not a seasonal thing. So black pepper really, really works well with cold. And you take 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper powder, and in that you add a teaspoon of natural raw honey, mix it well, and then take it after your food, not before. So take it on a full stomach after your meal is done. And that black pepper has a heating quality. And that heating quality actually helps to relieve your congestion, and it drives your cough out.
Amazing. Okay, so that's for people that have coughs. Is that what you said? If you have a
Cold.
cough,
Cough
a
and
cold,
cold. Yeah,
cough and
cough and
cold.
cold. Yep. Or, you feel like chest congestion and things
Yeah.
like that. So it really helps. That heat from the black pepper really helps to get your cough out, and you feel like, kind of, you don't have that congestion anymore.
Fascinating. What's the role of the honey with that?
Honey is considered as a medium, just like ghee, to kind of get those benefits to you 100%. So honey really has a lot of importance in Ayurveda. Honey, ghee, those are the two things that, you will see a lot of medicines, the Ayurvedic medicines, the powders, those are either mixed with honey or they are mixed in ghee, and that's how you take it, because that's considered that it works 100% in your body, giving you the full benefits of that herb.
Okay, so you've given us a lot of tools and tips here. And for people who are, this is brand new, they have a lot to leave with and try and play with at home. And also, like, there's so much to start Googling and reading about Ayurveda. There's just a lot there. They can also plug into what you're doing, which I know you'll share with us at the end. I'm curious, before we move into the question that I ask everybody about their morning routine, if there's a question that like you wish I'd asked you, or you wish people asked you more about Ayurveda or your work.
I would say that when people, if you are interested in, getting treated by Ayurvedic treatments, I would say that my suggestion would be here: don't wait until you are really feeling sick. If you feel that overall your health is good, there is still something you can do to maintain that health so that you don't get into major issues later in your life. So what I would say that start now, start kind of being proactive with your health so that you will get those benefits. And you can do like simple things like maintaining like a daily routine, because Ayurveda believes that keeping your routine consistent is very, very important for your body and to maintain your doshas and keep them in balance. So certain time of the day that you wake up, be consistent with that. If you are doing any type of meditation or exercises, do that. Follow the breakfast routine at the same time. You don't have to eat the same breakfast every day, but try to have your meals at certain specific time of the day. Or if you do exercise, try to do it at a certain time of the day. Try going to bed at the certain time of the day. If you maintain your daily routine and be consistent with it, that definitely gives you a lot of benefits long term. You may not feel it right away, but definitely that will help you in long run. And I can definitely say this looking at my grandpa's lifestyle, and he was a firm believer of Ayurveda. He was a great reader. He used to read a lot regarding Ayurveda. He was not like a practitioner or anything as a professional, but definitely he had a lot of knowledge, and I have seen him following the same routine until his last day. And his life was really, really beautiful. He was as healthy as I can see a person at 94 years old with not a single medication, and he maintained his lifestyle the way he used to maintain when he was probably 60. So I'm a firm believer that you definitely want to follow the same routine and the same schedule every single day as much as you can. I know we travel a lot and we have other responsibilities, but whenever it is possible, try to stick to your same routine.
This is such a great testament to, health doesn't belong in the health doesn't begin in the doctor's office, right? But it really begins with how we take care of ourselves day to day. And you just highlighted that beautifully with your grandpa's story. I love it. Speaking of routines, I think a morning routine is a really important way to begin that routine process and to start our day. I'm curious if you have one, and if so, what it looks like.
Absolutely. And as I was just talking about daily routine and maintaining that routine, I am going to say that I'm not the perfect by any means, but I try to be, because as a mom, working as a dietitian, there are a lot of other responsibilities I have. Everyone has it in their life, but I still try my best to maintain my same morning routine as much as I can. So as far as my morning routine goes, I wake up around 5 a.m. I start my day early. I'm an early riser. I like it that way. I was always like that. And of course, I mean, brush your teeth. But before doing that, I do what is called as oil pulling. And I don't know if that's a new concept to many of you, but oil pulling is another a good practice that is recommended in Ayurveda. And you take any type of oil. I use sesame oil, but you can use sesame oil, you can use coconut oil, you can use olive oil, and you take a small capful of this oil and you basically squish in your mouth, and you keep doing that at least for 5 minutes, and then of course you spit it out, and then you brush your teeth normally that you do, or use your mouthwash or whatever. Oil pulling is shown to improve the health of your gums and your teeth, but problems with your gums, like unhealthy gums that can bleed or can lead to gingivitis, those are the problems that you can avoid by practicing oil pulling. And I have been practicing this for many years, and I can proudly say that my oral health is really, really good, and my dentist is impressed with me every time I see my dentist. So that's what I do. Followed by that, I start my day with lot of warm water, and I kind of try to practice intermittent fasting. So I try to have at least 14 hours of gap before I have my first meal of the day, between my dinner last night and so-called my first meal the next day. So after waking up, I just keep drinking warm water with little bit of lemon in that, and that's what I do. I start my day by journaling, and journaling about not just what needs to be done for that day, like my to-do list, but I like to write 3 affirmative sentences about myself, or what I think, what I feel about. And I think that helps me get going throughout the day and feels me motivated. I am a firm believer of breathing practices. So that's, again, my routine. After my kids go to school, I get some time at around 7:30. I do my breathing practices, breathing techniques. I follow kind of 2 or 3 breathing practices every single day, spend about, I would say, 15 minutes in my breathing, and definitely that helps to keep my stress under control. And by nature, I'm a stress taker. I get worried on little things. I get tensed on little things. And since I have started practicing this more and more regularly, I can feel that I don't get stressed quickly, or even if there is stress, I'm now confident that I can handle that situation without going crazy, and definitely without affecting my health. So that's what I definitely do. Try to practice this anywhere. Even if I'm on vacation, breathing practice is not something I avoid or I forget about, because that's something you can do anywhere. So that's another thing that I do as my morning routine, and followed by, you can call it as brunch or breakfast, when my 14-hour fast gets over, and I break that fast with definitely some healthy protein source. It could be eggs, or it could be just my protein shake with protein powder and some fruits and MCT oil, and whatever is available at my home. So that's what my morning routine looks like. And as I said, I try to stick as much as I can. Again, I'm not perfect. There are days that I was not able to do few of these things, but I try my best.
And what I found with my morning routine is that starting simple and building on it, I feel the benefits, and it's really easy to stick with it, because if I skip a day, I notice that day that I'm kind of ungrounded, or maybe more quick to irritation or anxiety. And yeah, I love my morning routine. It's like my favorite time of the day, that quiet centering time.
Absolutely. And it's the time I feel that to look within yourself and reflect some of the things that you want to change. So as you said, I really love that time, and that just gives me peace of mind and kind of keep me going, throughout the day.
Awesome. This is great. You're such a bright light, Prajakta. Thank you so much for being here and sharing all this with us. It's great.
Thank you so much for having me, Emily. I really, really appreciate it. It was great chatting with you.
So I know people are going to be eager to learn where they can find out more about you, and I will put links to everything in the show notes, but why don't you share some of the exciting things happening in your practice?
Okay, so I am I am a registered dietitian and I work closely with people who are struggling with various kinds of digestive problems. You can check more details about how I work with my clients and my services that I offer on my website, rightnutritionworks.com. You can also find me on Instagram with the Instagram handle at rightnutritionworks. I have a great free resource that you can download if you think that your digestive health is not on track, if you feel something is off. I have a great guide called Fix Your Gut, and this guide gives you the step-by-step framework to kind of fix your gut and take your gut health to the next level. The link for that is rightnutritionworks.com/fix your gut free guide. And just click that link, download it, and you can start taking smaller steps right away. I'm sure Emily will be sharing all these links in her show notes. But basically, feel free to reach out whenever you feel you need help. I'm there to help you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you once again.